welcome back to Cross Stitch the Globe. My name is Jasmine. This is the channel about cross stitch, and today is a floss tube. Now you may be wondering why today is a floss tube when I just did one last week. I mentioned at the end of the video, but I know not everyone watches the whole thing, that I'm going to experiment with doing, or I was thinking about experimenting with doing weekly floss tube episodes. The reason is that I tend to stitch a lot more in the week leading up to a floss tube than the week after. And I'm kind of behind on my goals for the year, and I thought maybe doing weekly floss tubes would help me catch up. And so I figured, let's try that for the summer. Allison doesn't want to be, well, can't be in every video right now. And so let's experiment with doing a weekly floss tube. I can record them from home on Mondays, so they still come out for you guys at the same time on Mondays, and see how that goes. And then Thursdays can be the extra or the tutorial, whatever I end up doing. And then when Allison wants to come back on, she'll also know, like, well, I'm recording a floss tube every week, so any week she wants to jump on, she can. And there are obviously going to be extras that we're going to schedule, and those will be filmed on Sunday, so it also keeps my filming time with her like available if she does want to do something. So we're going to try this out for now. I'm really excited about it though. It was really fun prepping this floss tube because I just had to prep so much less because it's only 1 week instead of 2 weeks. So it was a lot easier to get my stuff together, and so I'm excited about it. So we'll do floss tubes every Monday for the summer and see how that goes. And then this week, the extra on Thursday is going to be what I have learned from destashing. I have destashed over 500 items, and a lot of you guys, not a lot, some of you guys have reached out and asked me about different logistics of things, about shipping or pricing or whatever, and I thought I would put together just like what I have learned, because I've also destashed on different formats. I've destashed different platforms. I've tried out different pricing levels. Like, I've just done a lot of experimentation in it. So I don't think I'm the person that's destashed like the most. Obviously there's like Facebook groups dedicated where people spend tons of time just destashing things. But I think I've destashed enough to share some of the things that I have learned. I'm going to do that on Thursday. And then last Thursday's video got delayed until yesterday because it was the second half of that LNS that our friend Beck from Beck Spin saved, where she saved the inventory from going to a landfill. And the video had been filmed for a few weeks, and the video was even like edited and uploaded on YouTube, but I couldn't like make it live until all the listings were done. And I finally had time to sit down and list all those patterns yesterday. And I have orders from that video to send out tonight. So that will be super exciting. So thank you guys so much. If you haven't seen that video, if you like watching pattern parades, especially like vintage pattern parades, there was like lavender and lace and tooled in a garden and color charts and old weird samplers and, you know, fun 80s animal stuff. Like, if you like that kind of stuff, the video is there. I'll link to it below. And then also you can also go to my Etsy shop through the link below if you just want to see, like, literally if there's something that you want and you want to see if it's still there. That's where you'll find that. All right, so let's dive in to today's floss tube. This is floss tube 43. Stitch Together. So I started a membership to do Stitch Togethers on Sundays at 12 Central. That's 1 Eastern, 10 Pacific, like 6 in London. It's like a time when a lot of different people can get on, but not everyone. We had our first one yesterday, and it was really fun. It was really fun. It was everything I wanted it to be. It was like very chill. Everyone was very cool. People like felt comfortable to talk, and some people felt comfortable not talking, and it was really fun. That is going to happen every Sunday. Any week that needs to be like paused or moved, I will let you guys know early, as early as I possibly can. If something comes up, like I already know the week I'm at StitchCon, that'll have to get moved. So if you want to join this Sunday's, I was calling them Stitch With Me's, but I'm changing it to Stitch Togethers, because Stitch With Me sounds so pretentious. It's not like a video where I'm stitching it. It's like a get together, and the get together is about each other, not just me. So if you want to join our Zoom stitch togethers on Sundays, you join by joining the membership on YouTube, and it's cheaper if you do it on your computer than on your phone. You join the membership, it's $5.99. So if they're trying to charge you more than that on your phone, go to your laptop. It's $5.99 for a month, and we're gonna have those every single Sunday. All right, so if you want to join for the Zoom stitch togethers, you go to the YouTube membership, and I will also link that below because 2 different people said they had a hard time finding the button. Like normally it just says join, but I'll also link in the description the like direct link to join in case you can't find it. And it's $5.99 a month, and we're going to meet every single Sunday, and I will let you guys know well in advance if one has to move. Obviously, occasionally Sunday won't work, but for the most part, the vast majority of Sundays we will meet, and then when we have to move it, we'll move it to another time. Okay, so let's dive in. So we like to start by congratulating people in the community that are hitting milestones. Now, it was so much fun prepping this part because it's so much easier to get like 1 week's worth of this stuff than 2 or 3. But Audrey from Bestitch Me just celebrated 2 years on Flosstube. Congratulations. And to celebrate, she put out an extra about her floss palace. So definitely go check her out. Okay, so Audrey doesn't stitch very many of this. I don't think we've ever stitched, well, we stitched one thing that was the same, but for the most part, we do not stitch the same stuff. She stitches extremely fancy hands across the seat samplers, and I have a hands across the seat sampler going, but I don't have 10 going or 20 going or 40 going. But what I like is she does, well, she's really fun anyway, but what I like is she approaches it in a really accessible way. She explains her choices. And so if you have been tempted to add a fancier whip to your rotation than maybe you currently have, and you don't feel like you really know where to start, and maybe you're intimidated by some of the channels that focus on those kind of whips because they seem to have so much knowledge and you're like, I'm just starting out. Audrey's a great place to start for that. Like, I will mention her again in Flosstube University because she really does try to teach during her Flosstube episodes. And she is, you know, she's talking about doing 1/1 like it's fun, and you're just like, okay, well, like, is it fun? But like, then she'll show on Instagram carrying her thread occasionally. Very naughty. So I just love her channel. So go check her out. Congratulations. And then Zoe from Coco Create celebrated 5 years on Flosstube, which is amazing. And I saw the video pop up. I haven't gotten a chance to watch it yet, but go check it out. I will link to it below, her 5-year celebration. And I also we like to say happy birthday to people who are having birthdays that they let us know about. We're not like creeping anybody's Facebook page. But Jessie from Mislay Pages, they had a birthday. Allie from Allie's Crafty had a birthday, and I will mention her again later. And then Michelle, the Chinook Crafter, had a birthday. So those are all lovely people. And I will link to all their channels below as well. All right, let's dive into stitching. I did not have any finishes, and I did not have any starts. I was like head down on my whips this week. And the first one, I cannot put this whip down. Okay, so I showed you guys my like impromptu Mother's Day weekend start on this. You guys are gonna, and I've shown a little bit of progress on Instagram. So you guys, if you follow me on Instagram, which I'll link to below. If you follow me on Instagram, you'll have seen some progress, but you might be a little bit shocked. Guys, I'm at 29%. I have never picked up a whip that had 10,000 stitches in it and just stitched 30% in a week. Like, never. I mean, it's been like 9 days. I have never stitched that not monogamously, but that much on one whip. I cannot put this down. So this is Annie Hyssop's Harvest Moon. It's by the Primitive Needle. If you watched our most expensive cross stitch patterns video this year, this pattern was in that video. However, it has been re-released, so it is no longer one of the most expensive patterns. Now it's $16, so now it is affordable. I'm stitching it on 32 count Lakeside linen in vintage porcelain. I didn't know if this is the right choice. I was hoping, a lot of the things that I was worried about when I only had a little bit of stitching. Okay, so I picked this fabric and I made my DMC floss conversion and I was like, they'll work out in the end. But then when I started, I was like, oh no, I've made a million errors. But now I've gotten enough on it that I'm like, okay, no, they're gonna work out in the end. You know, it's a little bit, it's just, oh, I just love it. So, okay, part of why I've been able to do so much is that there's so much fill-in. So like I filled in like a ton this morning when my daughter was eating a popsicle, and I filled out a bunch during the Zoom stitch together yesterday. I took it to, my son had 2 birthday parties on Saturday to go to back to back. So I did a lot of fill-in the barn yesterday and the roof. So that's part of why I've gotten so much done is that I've been like, there's so much like it's probably a 10,000 stitch pattern with half fill-in. So this is going to be so good for, I'm going to take this to StitchCon. I'm going to get the grass all outlined and just like hopefully get a ton of it done at StitchCon. We'll see. But this is probably going to be the main thing I work on. But it was that combined with the fact that I really wanted to see how my floss conversion was going. And I've made some tweaks to it. The biggest tweak that I've done is that for a lot of them where I had converted it into one color, I've picked either an adjacent color or a color that also appears in the floss so that they have a little bit of a variegated look. Now, it's not variegated, but you can see the purple of the barn, the yellow of the house, the green of this roof. It has enough that it kind of gives that same effect. And then I also did that for the black so that it's not the like stark 310, but it also has some just 310. So the black, I'm doing a strand of 310 plus 3799 alternated with a strand of just 310. So my conversion is getting like a little bit fussy. And I am gonna like update it again pretty soon because I know there are some people, I could not find a single DMC conversion for this and I know people wanted one. So, but I'm not saying mine is like the best one out there, and it is getting a little fussy because I've been wanting more of the variegated look without a variegated price tag. So I've been using 2 flosses, but I've also been doing different techniques with 2 different flosses for different sections to get different effects. And I'm loving it, but I don't know if it sounds rational or insane to someone else. So like, it's hard for me to know. There are some colors where I'm not going to do that, like the brown in this jack-o'-lantern. There's not enough stitches of it, and it never appears anywhere where you would really be able to appreciate real variegation anyway. But like the signs of these buildings, the cover photo of the pattern on the model just has such like defined variegation that I want in that look. That is a little bit of a trick. Part of what a camera does is it emphasizes contrast. So that is one of the many reasons why it is difficult to take pictures of floss and fabric and projects in general. But so a variegated floss that in person, or a model fabric that in person might flow really consistently and have the effective movement, but not like a really harsh pattern. When it's in the camera emphasizing the contrast will make it look more modeled or more stripy. So in person, this doesn't look too stripy, but I think it looks about as stripy as the model in the picture. But the model in the picture in real life probably doesn't look that stripy, if that makes sense. But I like what I am doing, and I will update what I am doing, but I no longer think other people might be like, oh yeah, I want to do that. Because now I'm like, oh, it's getting a little fussy. So there's alternating colors in here and here, but there's a blend and an alternating color in here. 2 alternating colors here. There's even alternating colors here, which it wasn't really necessary, but I actually can tell and do appreciate it. So anyway, I love it. I would not be surprised if I just keep making progress on it, because there are so many situations where I can pick it up easily, where I cannot pick something else up easily. The only thing I don't love about it is that I have it in this really big bag, and this is not like a cool thing to take into a child's birthday party, so I put it in a tote bag to like hide it. But then, you know, parents are still like, oh, what's that? And they're you know, with varying levels of, you know, things. So I'm stitching it with this Springtop Gibbs coat. All that is to say, I might, before I go to StitchCon, I might go ahead and floss drop the flosses, even though I'm trying to move away from floss drops, just because I think, and I'm trying to build a master set, but for this whip, thinking about taking it to StitchCon, I think I might want to have the flosses on drops and in a smaller bag. But I do love this bag. It's from Tag Quilt Art. It just is kind of silly for something I'm like taking into a birthday party, or, you know, it's been in public a lot. So anyway, that is Annie Hyssop's Harvest Moon. Obsessed. I'm already like scheming. Like, she put out 2. So her daughter, Mariah, I explained it in the last video, but Mariah, her daughter, is digitizing Lisa Roswell's patterns. Lisa Roswell passed away, and so for a long time the patterns were not available, which is how they got so expensive, because they were fully out of print. But now her daughter is digitizing them, so they are available. They're not all available yet, but I believe she's like plans to just like keep going until they're all out. But she's been releasing, you know, it's been like 9 days since it went live, and she's had a few more releases. And she released a couple more that, I mean, there's a lot on there that I really am very excited about. So we'll see. Okay, so this is my next one. Okay, so this is Moonglow. This is by Nora Corbett, and I finished the X's. This is the first time I finished all the cross stitches on a Mirabilia or a Nora Corbett. Now, I do want to have this completely done by the end of this month. And I finished the X's. Then I have most of the back stitch done. I have to finish back stitching around these 3 tattoos. And then there's a piece of the back stitch of the body came loose that I need to secure better. I actually need to just double check. I thought my tension was good enough when I was doing the back stitch last night, but then today it looks a little floppy. It won't look floppy like in a frame, obviously, but I don't want it to get damaged before then. But I just love it. I cannot believe that I have her body done, with the exception of that one piece I have to fix again. And I hated it. I hated doing the back stitch. I know Jacinta from Crafting on the Plains loves back stitch. She's doing this too. She loves back stitch. And she's got some pieces that are like almost entirely backstitch, and I want to be like her when I grow up, but I'm not. I do not like backstitch. I did not enjoy it. I don't have a good way to mark it off, and I don't want to I'm sure there are ways to mark it off that are, but I just haven't. You know, whatever. But I love it. I love it so much. And I have about 400, so I have a tiny bit of backstitch left to do tonight, and then I have about 400 beads. And then she'll be done. And, so I really want her to be done before the end of May. And it really just depends on how monotonous I find the backstitch. The fabric is 28 Count Paranormal by Bestitch Me. Or linen. And yeah, I mean, this is only 6,600 stitches. Like, the fact that I'm this excited about having that much done, it's like I've done like, you know, a third of that on Annie Hyssop in a week. I have let this project drag out a really long time, but that's okay. I'm doing this, I did this as part of the Moon Glow Magic Sal with Elizabeth some Savory Sewing, finished hers. Allie from Allie's Z's Crafty, Katie the Peacock Stitcher, finished hers. Addie from Addie's Cross and Quilts, finished hers. Like, I need to finish. And she lives in this Jasmine's custom bag that will be so happy to have a new project, something different in it, but we'll see. I don't have anything that I'm planning on putting in here, and I do think Blackened Sky could go quite nicely in here if I finish Annie Hyssop. Oh no, there's a stain on it. Or maybe that's in the fabric. Maybe some of the fabric is brown. No, my kids got it. Okay. That's part of why I'm really, like, make sure that I have project bags, is because my kids do touch things, and it's nice to be like, well, it's in a bag. All right. My next whip is Moon. Oh, I did 2,600 stitches on Annie Hyssop since the last time you saw it. She's at 29%. I did 650 stitches and backstitch on Moon Glow, and she has about 400 stitches plus a little bit of backstitch to be done. This next one is Moon Phase Bell Pull. So I'm doing this as a full moon stitch along with Jen from Jen's Fiber Web, Megan, the White-Eyed Stitcher, and Amy from Amy Loves Totes. And I am caught up. So I did 651 stitches since the last time you saw it. I'm trying to do this I'm trying to do 640 stitches a month so that by the end of the year it is done. I did a little bit extra this month because I pulled out, I had all these whites. There's like a bunch of white stars in the pattern. I pulled them out because I didn't like how they're looking. I think I want to do beads on them. So I pulled them out and then did more X's so that I would be caught up to where I was supposed to be in just X's, because the beading will take me longer at the end anyway. And so I definitely don't want to have beads plus more than I should have to do. But yeah, I love it. I stitched up to halfway, so I was hoping, I knew logically that I wasn't going to have extra fabric, but I don't, because this is halfway, so I do not have extra fabric. I have maybe a smaller margin on the top than the bottom, but I do not have extra fabric. This is 28 count linen in Enchanted by O'Crown Studios. And I liked it because it has like some greens and purples to kind of mimic the Northern Lights. The Diddy Stitcher Helen did hers on a Kaylee tent stitch fabric that is like truly Northern Lights, but I ordered during the postal strike and I didn't think I could get something from Canada. And honestly, like, I really love this fabric and I'm happy with my choice. But if you want something that's even more Northern Lights, then this is kind of subtle nod. Check out Kaylee's tent stitch. But I love O'Crown Studios fabric, so I'm never sad when I'm using that too. And yeah, so I love it. I did show my son, who loves space, and I said, look what I'm stitching, and he said, the moon. Not impressed. It lives in this repurposed cosmetic bag, and I'm stitching it with a 4-inch Duchess hoop. And I thought this one would get a bigger bag, but I like how small this is for such a small project, so I'm not gonna move it. All right, I have two more. So I did I told you guys I did 650 stitches on that one. Now, my last two whips I only got out for 1 day each, but it was nice to get them out. So this next one is Within a Dream by the Artsy Housewife. And I only put 150 stitches in it, and I was just working in the border over here. I don't remember what was going on that I wanted to pull it out. I'm doing this as a memorial to my dog Lucy. And Sarah, who is Story Quest Stitcher on Instagram, finished her memorial to her cat Pie and stitched Pie's name in it in a really sweet way. And I don't know why I hadn't thought about putting Lucy's name in here, but I just hadn't. But now I'm really thinking that I am going to hide Lucy's name in here somewhere. Probably more subtly than the way that Sarah did it, just because this is such a big piece and it already has a skull, and I don't want people to be like, oh, that skull is your dog, because it's the sentiment of the piece that I like, because it says a dream within a dream, which is an Edgar Allan Poe poem. I learned after starting the piece. I thought it was Hamlet. It's Edgar Allan Poe. It's fine. But I do think putting her name in here would be nice in some subtle way, probably in the, like, I don't know, somewhere in the motifs at the top. So I really like this piece. I'm stitching on a 28 count linen by Tropical Stitches called Presentation, and I think it is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, I love this neutral. And I think it goes really well with the colors of the skull. And I'm stitching this with the Call for Fancy Floss, and I'm stitching it with a 7-inch Duchess hoop. And it lives in this Lake House Stitch Co bag. Okay. Alright, so my last whip is 20 Stitch for Pride 2025 by D's 20 Stitches. I am having a hard time with this fabric. I'm not so much that I want to quit or restart, but I just put 100 stitches into Elagabalus, which was January's motif. Stitch for Pride 2025 is a celebration and learn along about trans history, and Elagabalus was a Roman emperor who would have preferred to be an empress, and is really interesting but also very cruel historical figure, and very just like very got a lot of good stories. So the motif is her lounging, throwing rose petals. All right, so okay. I obviously have stitched just fine on blue fabric. It's not like the color. This is gray, but it's not really the color. This is Steel by Fiber on a Whim. It's 32 count. Any Hyssop is on 32 count. So even though I kind of bounce back and forth between 32 and 28 two-stranded, because of the craziness of my kids, I kind of prefer the most easy to see, and occasionally I do stuff on 8, but like 28 or 32 is kind of my like preferred way to stitch. So it's not that. The flosses are beautiful. I'm doing it with the flosses that were dyed for the Sal by Algie Ross. There's just something about this fabric that my eyes don't see well, and I never really get into a groove. So I think what I'm going to have to do is make myself stitch 2 strands of this every day before I move on to something else, because that will train my eyes on this fabric better. Because otherwise, like my last Stitch for Pride was so easy to pick up in terms of the fabric and the flosses that like I never, and this is too much stitching on too much of a, like, I want to get it done by the end of the year to be stressed about like the materials of it, but I don't want to restart it, so I gotta figure it out. It lives in this 805 stitcher bag, and I'm stitching it with this 6-inch princess hoop. So that was what I stitched this week. I stitched an average of 600 stitches a day, which is higher than I have ever averaged between floss tubes, and I'm thinking it's because it was 1 week, and so I didn't give myself any like days to crash. And that even included yesterday, where I only got like 232 real stitches because the rest were back stitches that I couldn't really count. Like, it took so much time, but you're not doing as many. So I think that I don't think I can fully meet my goals for this year, but I think I can make up some ground by doing weekly floss tubes to help keep myself focused on the goals. Okay, plans. So I do want to finish Moonglow. I don't know. I've never beaded anything like serious. I've put a couple beads in here or there. So I don't know how long it's going to take me to do 400 beads. It could, and also my life is very chaotic. So most of my stitching time is kind of like a battle of like how to keep your hands off my stuff while I stitch. Like, you know, I'm stitching, my daughter's eating a coconut popsicle, and it's like a battle of wills as to like if my whip stays clean. So I'm not going to bead during that time. And so I just don't know how like fast or slow beading will go. So I want to finish Mingle this month, and today is the 19th, but I'm not sure if I'll be able to finish it before next Monday. We'll see. Okay, but that is one of my big goals for the month. And then I want to keep going through my Mirabilia whips. I still have a bunch of Mirabilia whips that need their like 500 stitches. And then my Whipco Jingle Ball ornaments that I'm doing with Elizabeth from Savory Sewing and Chandria from Chandria Carol. I have fallen off on those, but this month my goal is to get 3. So I get the two for this month and get caught up on 1. So those will all be before next Monday as well. Well, 2 of them will be. Okay. So those are some big plans. Keep stitching on Stitch for Pride. And then Annie Hyssop, it's just going to get stitches. Like, there's just going to be times when it's like stitch that or stitch nothing because logistics, or like I won't want to stitch anything else but that, and I'll need to stitch that if I want to stitch anything. So it's going to get stitches. Okay. Flosstube University. So this week the extra is going to be, the Thursday video is going to be an extra, but I am going to start doing tutorials again. Flosstube University is when we do tutorials that we put out separately, and also on Flosstube we like to mention things we learned. So I learned 2 cool things on Flosstube this week. Audrey from Stitch Bead, in her last full Flosstube episode, she spent a lot of time talking about how she picks the sampler fabrics for the samplers, and when she goes for the call for it and when she doesn't, and she, you know, like different linens that she like, and linen brands, and it was really helpful. So if you are planning on, or even curious about picking out linen for samplers that maybe are like a little bit more refined samplers than you have been stitching in the past, and you are curious about how, and you don't want to deal with called for fabric, or that's not even possible, and you want to see like what she's doing, go check her out. Then Lisa from Forest City Stitching, she mentioned a trick that she learned how to do in Pattern Keeper. Now I use markup, and if anybody of you knows how to do this trick in markup, let me know, because I would like that. But I don't know if she knows how. She wouldn't. I mean, because usually you know one or the other. But okay. She's stitching the Extraordinary Bird Sal. I believe it's that Sal. She's stitching this out. I think it's that one. But she had, you know, marked off all her progress, and then got the new, like, updated Sal, and was able to export her progress and then import her progress in a way where it marked all the stitches that she'd already done on the new version. And I think I have heard someone say that they have done that before, but I didn't register like that it was really be like a really like I think I heard someone say they did that. It was Emily from Crafty Emily. So it was Emily from Crafty Emily talked about doing that on when she switched from switched to like a max color, like she switched her Ahade to like a max color version. And so I was happy for her in that example, but it didn't register to me that there would be other use cases for that type of thing. And also I use markup, and both of these women use Pattern Keeper. So first of all, if you use Pattern Keeper, did you know that you could do that? And if you didn't, go check out Lisa from Forest City Stitcher. And also you should just follow her anyway. She lives kind of by Evertote, and is always going to the retreats, and is always stitching with their stuff, and her stuff's so good. So check her out, and then and also check out Crafty Emily, because her stuff is crazy. Like, her goals are so big, and she does so much of them. But I did not know you could do that with Pattern Keeper. If any of you guys know, can you do that with markup? That would be great to know, because like this Wings of Spring Sal, I'm marking off on the week 2 pattern. And by the time I get through the second release, they'll probably be weeks, the last release will probably be out. But it would be nice to be able to get the most recent one in case I wanted to go to like a different place and not lose all of my marked stitches. Anyway, I feel like that was kind of a roundabout way to explain all that. But anyway, go check them out. Stitch Stitch Bead, Forest City Stitching, and then Crafty Emily just because she's cool. Okay, haul. None. I've been like, my no-buy is like really doing good. There were so many times when I wanted to just go buy the Hyssop floss and didn't, kept going back to the drawing board with my conversion and getting it right, because it would have taken me a while to get it anyway. There's some flosses in the original floss list that I don't stitch with, so I still have to convert those. And so it just, I was so good that I stuck to my guns and didn't just give up. Now, I might use like the call for on something else of theirs later, but in terms of this impromptu thing that I started, I did not cave. And I didn't go thrifting this week because I've been just like crazy busy. I mean, I had 2 birthday parties to go to back. They were fun. It was nice, but like, it's just been a really busy week. So I did not buy anything, and I'm quite proud of myself for not buying anything. Giveaways. Now, because this one was a shorter, I knew this would be shorter. I thought it'd be a good opportunity to do some housekeeping on some old giveaways, because I didn't do a giveaway last time, but I forgot that on the Flosstube 41 I had done a giveaway and I needed to pull that. And then the woman who won the Allison's Pumpkin Witch whip, the whip made it all the way to Finland, and she has it, and it's safe. And that kind of reminded me that since that time when I had to go and mail that in the Snow White pattern, we have pulled a few more winners, but I haven't had to mail any other giveaways. And it's super easy now for me to mail domestic giveaways because I got my shipping station and my label printer and everything for the patterns and my secondhand like vintage business. So it doesn't stress me out to send a little thing to the US, but nobody has claimed them. So I went and looked up who the winners of those were so that I could do a last call on these 3. So the winner for the Flosstube 41, where we gave away this variegated floss, I gave away this variegated floss pamphlet. It is water damaged. I was really clear in that video. It is water damaged. The patterns are good, but like the actual piece of paper has a little damage. But the winner of this was Nora Stitches 6612, which Nora, I know you, like not an IRL, but like I have mailed things to you before. So I'm going to just let me know if your address is the same, and if it is, I will stick this in the mail. So congratulations. And then the giveaway for Flosstube 40 was this pattern, and from the Precious Heart collection called Heart Number 3, and the winner was Marissa McConnell. Oh, my email address is up here. All of you guys need to, Laura, you can just tell me my address is the same as it was like 2 months ago, and I will stick it in the mail. Everyone else needs to, like in a comment, you can just say my address is the same. Don't mention giveaway or winner, but you can just say my address is the same, and I'll know what that means. And I'll go to Pirate Ship and I'll make a new label and send you something. But for the rest of these, my email address is here. Email me and let me know where to send this to. This, the winner for this was Marissa McConnell, and I know I've sent you stuff, but I think it was email. So, email me your address. And I'm going to do something I don't normally do, which I'm going to tag all the winners. Normally I don't, but because I just want these 4 things out of my house, I'm just going to tag everyone and get everyone caught up, and then we'll go back to it being like kind of the honor system of giveaways are about being in community with each other. But I'm just going to tag everyone. And also, I think I know all of you guys from different things. Okay, this next one, Summer Strawberries, Vin May Stitches. I know I've talked to you about stuff, but I don't remember if you reached out about this, and I don't think you did. But if you did, I apologize. but I don't believe so because this is so small and I have a stamp. I just would have put it in a tiny envelope. So this was Vin May stitches. And then, oh, this was Flosstube 38, but it was Vin May stitches. Flosstube 39 was this Antique Needleworker Kindness, the Law of Kindness, and the winner was Liberty, L-O Birdie 58. And I know you comment all the time and stuff, so I'm gonna tag you, but please email here and let me know where to send this, and I will get it to you. And then Kaylin Murray 619 won the DMC stickers, which I don't have in front of me, and they're in this office. But I don't think you wanted them because your comment was about how you use the Pip and Chips DMC stickers, so I don't think you were really entering that giveaway. But please let me know if you want them or not, and if you don't, I will draw a new winner. But you did win them, so I want to give you the opportunity. So I'm going to tag all of you guys. Email me, let me know, get these out of my office. Okay, Donna from Stitch X Love had sent us some stuff to do as giveaways, and then I had put them aside in a special place in a different drawer so they would not get mixed up with things that I was destashing, because they were not stuff that people sent me to sell. They were things that people sent me to give away. And I got a copy of this. Is up for sale. A copy of The Bride is up for sale in my Etsy shop because a copy of it came from Beck Spin's destash that she sent me, and there were like 10 Lenart patterns. I think there's still like 6 left, and one of them is The Bride. But that reminded me that we had not given this away. So I want to... Anyway, so that reminded me that we've not given this away. So I do want to do this as the giveaway for this week. In your comment, use the word bride, B-R-I-D-E. You can let me know if you're going into any summer weddings this summer or whatever you want. Don't say giveaway. Don't say contest or winner or anything that would let any troll know that there's things happening here. Because, like, what troll's going to want this? But, like... Anyway, so but I am going to limit this to the continental United States because, again, I sent something to Finland and I found out how much it costs to send some of the more substantial packages to places like Finland, and I cannot do that all the time. So we're going to keep this in the US. But if you would like to win this, please, there's the word bride. If you won any of the other giveaways, please let me know where to send those to so I can get them out of my house. And I am shipping things for my Etsy store like 3 or 4 days a week. So it's not the ordeal that it used to be to get stuff out of my house and to you all. Now, if it's international, which this one obviously won't be, but some international things are still taking me a while because I have to like go in person. But if somebody buys something through Etsy, I don't have to go in person if it's international. But if somebody buys something, sorry, I shouldn't be organized. Okay, I am going to let you guys go. I think this was fun, like to check in a little more often and do a little bit less each time for the summer and see if I can get some more stitching done. Let me know what you think of the weekly Flosstube episodes. If you're like, you don't stitch enough to do 1 week, let me know. And if you want to join, like members, I will see you guys. I'll see everyone on Thursday for a video about my destash lessons learned. I'll say tips, but also some hard. I learned some really valuable lessons. I learned some hard lessons, and I think I have a lot of wisdom on that front. And then, so I'll see you guys on Thursday, and then members, I'll see you guys on Sunday for our stitch together. If you want to join us, you can hit join, but I will also include the link in the description. Yeah. So thank you guys so much. Bye.